Hello and good morning students. Welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyananjali Vidyapeeth for the students of Standard 8. Once again, nice to see you in today's English grammar lecture for semester 1. In the last lecture, we introduced ourselves to the book that is Fun with Grammar that we are going to follow this year, this academic year 2021-22. We went through the contents that was given to us in the index. We introduced ourselves to the first chapter, that is articles, which is not a very new concept. It's a quite an old concept that you have been learning since lower grade standard 1, if I am not mistaken. We understood about the indefinite articles a and an. We read, acknowledged and understood the different rules where the indefinite article a and an is used. Along with that, we also understood the omission of the article, that is the indefinite article a and an, where it is not required or which should not be used. So we had a careful understanding about the topic indefinite articles from the text. In today's lecture, we will be continuing our understanding, reading and learning about the definite article, that is the three-letter word the. But before we get into this and understand about the 15 different uses of the definite article the, followed by the omission of the definite article the, it is quite important for us to recapitulate in a quick manner about the indefinite article that we learned earlier. So have a look at the image being displayed on your screen, providing you information about the indefinite article to recapitulate. A is used before nouns beginning with consonants and consonant sounds. So the first line is very important. You have learned this in the lower grades, but you should keep remembering this till all the time you keep learning about articles. So A is used before nouns beginning with consonants. So either the word is having the first letter consonant or alternatively consonant sound. So maybe the first letter is not a consonant but it has a consonant sound. How? Let us see this example. A boy, which begins with the consonant B. Whereas in the second example sentence, a European. European begins with the consonant sound YU, that is U. Now if you carefully observe the two words boy and European, the word boy has the first letter B, which is a consonant letter, whereas the word European has the first letter, and not just the first letter but the second letter also, which is a vowel. E and U both are vowels. Despite of that, we haven't used an European over here because the point is that the letter E is silent while speaking, while pronouncing the word European. We are not saying European. The letter E is not to be pronounced. It's a silent letter. Whereas the letter U, which is a vowel altogether, although it's a vowel, despite of that, the sound which is produced while speaking it is not a vowel sound. It is a consonant sound, as mentioned in the bracket, YU, or alternatively we say YOOU. So keep this in mind. Second thing, an is used before nouns beginning with vowels and vowel sounds. So once again you see similar thing over here. An is used in two respective ways. Either the word begins with a vowel letter, the very first letter of the word of that noun is a vowel, or if it is not a vowel, it should be having a vowel sound to begin with. As you can see in the example, an apple. So what do you find? The word apple begins with the letter A, which is a vowel letter. And if you emphasize on that and try to listen to the sound that is being produced, it is also a vowel sound. But in the following word you see an hour. Are we saying an hour? Am I pronouncing the letter H over here? Hour? No. We are not pronouncing the letter H over here. We are simply saying an hour. So A is the sound, hour. O-U-R, hour is being pronounced. Perhaps the letter H is being silent over here. It is not being pronounced. You can see in the bracket given to you where H remains silent. Similarly, the abbreviation of Master of Business Administration, MBA. When the word MBA is pronounced, you will very well be able to identify if you just give a little bit of emphasis on the pronunciation. MBA. So when you are saying the word M, you are not pronouncing the consonant sound of the letter M, although the letter M is a consonant letter, but it is not having the sound of a consonant over here, which begins with the vowel EMM. So if I use the phonetic EMM to pronounce the abbreviation MBA, it very well has the vowel sound and not the consonant sound. Therefore, we will be using the article, the indefinite article an and not a. You can't say a MBA, perhaps you will say an MBA. So now it's very clear to, well, following are some rules, that is, you see, the indefinite article a or an is used in the following ways to indicate a single entity. Yes, we learned this. Example, a bag, a car, to show something that is singular. So a bag, a car. But if it is plural, we don't use a or an. The second rule is to express a certain quantity. When you want to express a certain quantity and amount, we make use of the indefinite article a or an. As in the example, a dozen eggs, a cup of sugar, a bag of milk, so on, isn't it? To show rank, profession or community, that is also what we learned. This is a quick recapitulation. A Muslim, a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, we came across these words earlier. To indicate any, see the word any is given in the quotation marks, that means the word any we are talking about. To indicate any for identifying an individual as the representative of a class, that is to represent the whole class of something. A child should obey his parents. So what is being told over here? Are we talking about only one single child and rest of the children are not supposed to obey? No. We are trying to say any child, the entire community of children, a class of children. So it is being referred to all children, any child. So a child should obey his parents. Fifth one, before a proper name to point out an unfamiliar person. We came across this as well, isn't it? Before a proper noun to point out an unfamiliar person. Someone who is not familiar to you, someone who is strange. As a Sonali Sharma or a Mr. Sharma, a Mrs. Sharma, a Miss Sharma. That is Mr., Mrs. or Miss along with the surname. We learned about this in our text. So a Sonali Sharma wants to meet you. Here we don't know who Sonali Sharma is. Therefore we can use over here a Sonali Sharma. But if you know the person, there is no point using the article a before a person you know or a proper noun. Or if we want to express a special meaning. Example, he thinks he is a Sononigam. So here we are trying to express a special meaning out of the proper noun. He thinks. So I am talking about someone that he thinks that he is as good as Sononigam. It means he sings as well as good as Sononigam. Therefore, we can use the word a Sononigam. Otherwise, there is no point using Sononigam because Sononigam is a proper noun. You can't use a Sononigam. A Sononigam met me yesterday. No. You can't say if you're talking about the actual Sononigam. No. He thinks he is a Sononigam. He thinks he is a Lata Mangeshkar. So, say if you are talking about a proper noun, a person, to bring out a special meaning. Well, the last usage you see in expressions like a mess, a pity, a lot of work. In all these manner we use the indefinite article a or an. Well, so I hope the recapitulation has helped you to understand about the indefinite articles very well. Well, before we look into the definite article the, let us go through the exercise given to us on page number 6. So have your text open to page 6, which is about the indefinite article. We will write the answers to these blanks together. So be attentive. The first blank, as you see, there is dash nest in the tree. There is dash egg inside it. So you have got two blanks over here. But after the blank, the word following is nest and egg. So if you carefully observe, both are singular nouns, but there is a difference between the two. The first one is having a consonant letter, whereas the second one is having a vowel as the first letter. So be very careful while inserting the indefinite article. Note down the answers. There is a nest in the tree. We are trying to use the article a before a singular noun beginning with a consonant letter or a consonant sound. The following sentence, there is an egg inside it. Now the word egg begins with the letter E, which is a vowel and has a vowel sound. So note down the answers carefully. The next sentence, dash ambulance takes sick people to hospital. Now if you carefully observe, the word ambulance begins with the article or the letter A. It is a vowel, and when you pronounce it, it gives out a vowel sound. Ambulance. So an ambulance takes sick people. There is no need to write a ambulance, it would be incorrect. Next is dash eagle can fly high in the air, but dash hen cannot do so. Now if you carefully observe the sentence this time, you have the word eagle and hen, before which the blank has been given to write the article. Both are singular nouns introduced for the first time in a sentence. Well, but this time the first word, that is eagle, is beginning with a vowel letter, a vowel sound, whereas the second word, the second noun over here, hen, is beginning with a consonant letter and a consonant sound. So unlike the first sentence, this time we are going to write an first and a next. So note down the answer, an eagle can fly high in the air, but a hen cannot do so. On to the next page, page number 7. The fourth sentence, the policeman wears dash uniform. Now be very careful with this one. Uniform begins with the letter U. So obviously you must be thinking that we should be having the article and over here, as we learned. If the word begins with a vowel or a vowel sound, then we apply the article and. Now very well you can see it begins with the vowel over here. The policeman wears an uniform. No, we cannot write an over here, although it begins with a vowel, because it is only beginning with a vowel, but the sound that is being produced is a consonant sound. Carefully try to pronounce it by yourself. Uniform. So you will find that it has the YU or YOOU as taught to you earlier. The policeman wears a uniform, and you don't say an uniform. It would be incorrect. Well, U produces, the letter U produces two kinds of sound. It produces the YOOU and it produces the sound of a vowel also. EMM we came across earlier. The fifth one, Kitty gave her teacher dash orchid and dash rose. Well, Kitty gave her teacher an orchid. Now the word orchid begins with the vowel letter O, and the following word, that is the word after the second blank, that is rose, begins with the consonant letter R. Therefore we require an first and a next. The sixth one, do you have dash answer to my question? Do you have an answer to my question? Because the word answer begins with the vowel letter A, and probably it has the vowel sound also. Answer. Seventh one, he is dash honest man. Be very careful with this one. He is a honest man. No, we are not saying honest. We are not pronouncing the letter H. Just like in the example sentence, we had the word our, where the letter H was silent. Similarly, when you pronounce the word honest, you say honest. O is the word to be pronounced and not the letter H. Therefore, H remaining silent, we just pronounce honest with the indefinite article an. So he is an honest man. So note down the article an over there. The eighth one, Uncle Parvez lost dash oar while rowing dash boat in the lake. Well, first of all, let's clear what is an oar. Oar is a long stick which is used as a medium of rowing the boat. So it is a device, or you can say instrument, what you call in Hindi as patwar, to row the boat. So Uncle Parvez lost dash oar while rowing dash boat. So we can very well see oar is beginning with the letter O, which is a vowel. So he lost an oar while rowing dash boat. Now here we are not saying any boat. He is rowing a particular boat in which he is sitting, isn't it? Although the option given to us is fill in the blanks with the indefinite articles. But here we will not be able to use the indefinite article a or an. Uncle Parvez lost an oar while rowing the boat in the lake. So he is rowing a particular boat in which he is sitting, in which he is already perched. Therefore, here we will not be able to write the article a or an. We will have to write the boat. So note down the article the over there, although it's a definite article. Dash insect is dash small creature. Well, an insect, we talk about any insect. So an insect word begins with the letter I, a vowel. An insect is a small creature. You see, the word creature is being described, the word small. Small begins with the consonant letter, that is S, and a consonant sound. So an insect is a small creature. Finally, the last one. Do you have dash extra pen? Do you have dash extra pen? See, the word pen is being described with the word extra. So although the word noun pen is being used over here, which has the word, the letter P inside it, which is a consonant, but because the word extra has been applied before it, which is an adjective to describe the noun pen. So this time we are not going to consider the word pen and write, do you have a pen? No. But if I am not asking with the extra word, then I can say, yes, do you have a pen? But here I am asking, do you have an extra pen? Therefore, I will have to apply the article an and not a. So, do you have an extra pen? Alternatively, if it is only pen without the word extra, then you can write, do you have a pen? Well, these were the answers to the first exercise. Let us now go through the definite article that we are supposed to read and understand today in this lecture. So have your books open to page number 3, where we are going to read the 15 different usages of the definite article one at a time. Before a noun, when it is repeated after it has been referred to earlier, well, it's very important to recall the earlier knowledge that you had taken. When we had read about from page number 1, before a singular noun which is countable when it is mentioned for the first time and represents no particular person or thing. So when a noun is being mentioned for the first time in a sentence or being mentioned without any representing any particular person or thing, we use article a or an. But yes, here it is just the contradictory rule to what we learned in the last lecture. Before a noun, so this is the first rule where the article the is used and not a or an. Before a noun, when it is repeated, so you see, have a careful observation, repeated after it has been referred to earlier. So if you have referred to a noun in a sentence earlier and you are repeating it for the next time, then this time we are not using a or an, perhaps we will use the article the. See, we have an important example given to us which will help us to understand the rule better. A man and a boy were walking down a road. So when I am introducing my speech, when I am introducing the person for the first time, I am using a man and a boy. See, both the places the article a has been used. Were walking down a road. But in the same sentence, after the full stop, the sentence is continuing. The boy was the man's son. So what has been mentioned this time? The boy was the man's son. This time we have not used a man or a boy, because it has been referred to earlier in the sentence. Therefore, the rule stands apt over here. Before a noun, when it is repeated after it has been referred to earlier. So we already have the reference of the boy and the man in the earlier sentence. Well, let's proceed to the next rule about the use of the definite article the. Before a noun which is one of its kind in a given situation. So in a particular situation, when you are talking about something, a noun which is just one of its kind and there is not a second of it, but in a particular situation. Let us see an example. The principal is in his office. Now what are we saying? The principal. Well, alternatively we could have used over here a principal, isn't it? No, we are not talking about any principal. We are talking about the particular principal that I am referring to in my sentence. The principal is in his office. So the chamber belongs to a principal of that particular school. So I am saying the principal is in his office. So here what is to be understood? That here the word principal, the noun which is one of its kind in a given situation. So if you are talking about say Gyan Manjari school and the principals are sitting in his office, is one of its kind. Therefore the principal is in his office. You won't say a principal. It is not any principal who is sitting. It is the principal of that school. Therefore we are talking about a person, a noun in a given situation. And in such a place we don't use a or an. Perhaps we use the article the. So I hope you understood this. The post office is half a kilometer from here. Well, if I talk about Bhavnagar, there could be a number of post offices in Bhavnagar, isn't it? In different places of Bhavnagar, divided over here. But when I am talking about my region, my area, the post office is half a kilometer from here. So I am talking about in this particular given situation that particular post office which is just half a kilometer from my home or my residence. And therefore I will say the post office is half a kilometer from here. So I am not trying to say any post office. I am trying to say about that particular post office in a given situation which is half a kilometer from here. Is there anyone in the kitchen? So I am asking a question. Is there anyone in a kitchen? No. Or an kitchen? No. I am saying is there anyone in the kitchen? So when I am talking to someone, when I am speaking to someone, when I am asking this question, what is going on in my mind? I am talking about a particular kitchen in that given situation. I want to know the kitchen of my house. That is there anyone, say I want to get a glass of water from there, I give a shout. Is there anyone in the kitchen? If I get a reply, yes, I am there, then I will say, okay, please bring me a glass of water. So what is the question that I need to ask? Is there anyone in the kitchen and not a kitchen? Because I am not talking about any kitchen, I am talking about a particular situation. Maybe I am in my house and according to the situation I am saying the kitchen. Well, the next example, please pass me the salt. That is the salt on the table. Usually we don't say salt, salt being a commodity or material, isn't it? I don't say, please pass me the salt. Here I mean to say, it's clearly given the bracket, that is the salt on the table. If you are at the dining table, if you are having your meals and if you need to get the salt from the table, so you will be saying, please pass me the salt. The salt in that particular given situation, that is assembling at the dining table, having your meals, in that situation when you are asking for the salt or the salt bottle, you will be saying, please pass me the salt. So these were few examples about before a noun, the article the is used before a noun which is one of its kind in a given situation. So keep this entire thing in mind. The next, the third point, before a noun made definite by addition of a phrase or a clause. So when you are applying a phrase or a clause to make it definite, otherwise it was not definite. By applying the phrase or a clause, now it has become a definite one. Let us see how. For example, is given to us, the place where I met her. So what I say, the place where I met her. Now here the word where I met her is a phrase. So when I apply the word where I met her, I must use the place and not a place. A place where I met her would be incorrect to say, because I am talking about a particular place where I happen to meet the person. So the place where I met her makes this place now definite, because I am applying the word where I met her, the phrase or the clause over here. The man on the horse. So I'm not talking about any man. I am pointing out to someone or talking about the person on the horse. So my words on the horse, which is a prepositional phrase. In the earlier one, where I met her was a clause. This is a phrase. On the horse is a phrase, a prepositional phrase. You must have learnt about prepositional phrase earlier, isn't it? A group of words beginning with the preposition is a prepositional phrase. So on the horse is a prepositional phrase. Where I met her is a clause. So in both these sentences, the place and the man needs to be written like this. The place and the man. Because it is being made definite by applying a clause in the first one and applying a phrase in the second one. Have a look at the other two examples. The boy who won the first prize. So what is being applied over here? The word who won the first prize. You can say it's a relative clause over here because it has a relative pronoun over here. So we have a clause over here, who won the prize, which is making the boy a definite one, not any boy. I'm not talking about any boy. That boy who won the first prize, maybe he is my son, he is my friend, he is someone whom I know. So the boy who won the first prize, where the word who won the first prize is a clause. The train leaving at 3 p.m. I am not referring to any train. I am referring to a definite train over here by applying at 3 p.m. which is a prepositional phrase. When I apply a prepositional phrase to words like this, the train leaving, I will make the train leaving and not a train leaving. So I hope this is very clear to you. The third rule, before a noun, the article the is used before a noun made definite by addition of phrase or a clause. When you apply a phrase or a clause, that particular set of words or that noun becomes a definite one and not an indefinite one. Therefore, we have to use the article the and not a or an. The next point where we have to use the definite article a, when a singular noun is used to indicate a whole class, just like we had in the indefinite article. When you are representing the whole class or whole community of things, we make use of the article a and an. Similarly, when a singular noun is used to indicate not that one particular object or one particular piece or item, but the entire class which is like that. Let us see, the cuckoo is a lazy bird. Now I don't mean to say that one piece or one bird cuckoo is cuckoo by nature itself is a lazy bird. We know cuckoo is a lazy bird, isn't it? It does not build its own nest to lay its eggs. Perhaps it uses the nest of other birds to lay its eggs. Therefore, a cuckoo is referred to as a lazy bird. So, the cuckoo is a lazy bird means to say the entire community of cuckoo by nature is lazy. The e-rickshaw has become a popular vehicle, the cow is a useful animal and the lion is a majestic beast. Here in all the three examples, we just mean to say that the whole class of e-rickshaws, cow and lion are having these qualities. That is, e-rickshaw is a popular vehicle, cow is useful animal and the lion is a majestic beast. So, when referring to the whole class, by and whole, we say the article the. The next rule of using the article the as an adverb in such sentences as the following. The more the merrier, the fewer the better, the more one has, the more one wants. So here see the balance thing over here as an adverb in such sentences. So when you are using an adverb in this manner, we make use of the article the. Have a careful look. More the merrier. So we are using the word more and the word merrier. In a sentence, the more you have, the merrier it is. So the more the merrier. In both the places we have applied the article the over here. Therefore, the rule stands by itself as an adverb in such sentences. These are particular types of sentence where adverb has been used in such a design, such a manner. The fewer the better. We don't say a fewer, a better. No, that would be completely incorrect. The fewer the better. The more one has, the more one wants. So, this is the way we use the article the as an adverb in such sentences. Next one, before the names of rivers. This is a very important point. Before names of rivers, seas and oceans, mountain ranges, groups of islands, plural names of countries. So when you talk about these things in a sentence, when you bring these things in your writing or reading or in your speech, or when you take the names of these things, that is the names of rivers, seas, oceans, mountain ranges, groups of islands, plural names of countries, we make use of the article the before them. We have to use it. But we have an exception to this rule as well, that you see in the box just below the example. Let us read the examples first and then come to the note given to us about the exceptional case, the contradiction over there. The Ganges, the Ganga river, the Indus, the Thames, the Atlantic Ocean, the Red Sea are all names of rivers or oceans. So when you make use of these in a sentence or when you talk about them, when you write, we have to make use of the article the before them. They are unique, they are special. The Himalayas, the Alps, the British Isles, the Andamans, the Netherlands, the USA, the United Kingdom, the UAE are some examples of the utilization of the article the definite article the before them, as we just read about the rule about rivers, seas, oceans, mountain ranges, group of islands, plural names of countries. Well, what is the exceptional case or the contradiction over there? That is not to use. Let us read. Individual mountains do not have the place before them. We just read about Himalayas. The Himalayas, it is a mountain range. Remember when you were reading about the rule mountain range, we did not read about mountains, we read about mountain range. So when you are talking about mountain range like the Himalayas, the Alps, we make use of the article the Himalayas, the Alps. But we are talking about individual mountains, single mountains. There you don't use the articles. So this is an exception to the rule that we just now learned and understood. We don't say the Mount Everest. It would be completely incorrect to say I visited the Mount Everest, I climbed the Mount Everest. No. The Mount Everest, incorrect. We just say Mount Everest, Mount Abu, Mount Blank. Last summer vacations, we visited the Mount Abu. No, we visited Mount Abu is enough. We don't need to write the Mount Abu over here. Clear? So when talking about the mountain ranges, use the article the, but if you talk about individual mountains, eliminate, omit. That's the exception to the rule. The is necessary if the name of the country is paired with the word kingdom, republic, united or federation. So when the name of a country is paired with the word kingdom, republic, united and federation with such words, then the article the is very, very important, the definite article the. The kingdom of Macedon, the Republic of India. We don't say the India, isn't it? The Republic of India, the Federation of Indian States. So when you are using these words to associate with them, then we make your use of the article the. The next rule, before the names of certain well-known books, some, not the book that you and I use, isn't it? But when you talk about some popular books like the holy book of the Christians, Bible, the Vedas, the Quran, the Iliad are all books which will carry the article the before them when these words are read or written. The Bible, the Vedas, the Quran, the Iliad. That is how we name these books. We use the article the before them. The Ramayana, the Mahabharata, two more examples. Isn't it? But we have an exception to this as well. Turning to page 4, have a look over there. But we say Homer's Iliad, that is the book Iliad written by Homer. Now when you are associating the name of the person who has written the book, then we do not write the article the. We don't say the Homer's Iliad, or we don't say the Valmiki's Ramayana. No. We say the Ramayana, the Iliad, but when the name of the writer or when the name of the person who has written is used with that, then we omit the article the, we don't write the article the. We don't say the Homer's Iliad or the Valmiki's Ramayana. Okay, so we simply say Homer's Iliad and Valmiki's Ramayana. Next rule, before the names of newspapers. So when you take names of newspapers, magazines, etc. Similar to that category of things, it could be an article, it could be a weekly, it could be a monthly, it could be a bi-weekly or fortnightly. So before the names of newspapers, magazines, etc., we make use of the definite article the. The Times of India, isn't it the most popular one? The Hindustan Times, the Modern Language Review, the London Times, and so on. There are going to be many. The Chitralekha, isn't it? Well, so when you take names of newspapers, magazines, and similar newspaper articles, we make use of the article the before it, the definite article the. Next rule, before the names of public buildings, institutions and associations, etc., something which is very unique or which is a part of the public entity. So public buildings, public institutions, associations, gardens, isn't it? The parliament, a public building once again, isn't it? So we have examples to understand. The Taj Mahal, a public building, isn't it? One of the 7 wonders of the world, a unique one. The Taj Mahal, we'll have to use the article the before it. The National Museum, the University of London, the United Nations, the British Museum, the White House, the Parliament of India. So when you use names of public properties or public buildings or institutions or associations, we will have the Supreme Court, isn't it? It's also a building, the Supreme Court. So we make use of the article the before them. Remember this carefully. The next rule, where the article the is to be used without fail, but we have an exception to this as well. Before the names of peoples, see the word written over there, peoples. Well, you must have learned that there is no plural for the word people. Peoples is not the plural. Yes, we use the word people which has a different meaning. See, the meaning is given in the bracket. Peoples means nations, countries. Well, we never say peoples. I met a number of peoples yesterday. No, people itself is a plural word. So we don't say peoples, but yes, peoples in English has its own meaning, and that is nations. Well, so before the names of peoples, that is before the names of nations, before the names of families, an adjective formed from the proper noun, what you call as proper adjective. So when you make use of the proper adjective in a sentence, we make use of the article the. How? Let us see the example. The English language. So what am I using over here? The name of the language. The English language, the Turkish bath. So I am describing a language over here. What kind of a language? English. So here the word English is not playing the role of a noun, perhaps it is playing the role of an adjective to describe the noun language. The English language, the Hindi language, the Sanskrit language, the Marathi language, or any language. So the word Hindi, English, Marathi or Sanskrit is describing a noun language, and therefore we are using the article the before it. We are not saying the English, the Marathi, the Sanskrit. No, that is not how we can say. But yes, when we make use of the word English or the name of the language as an adjective to form as a proper noun, then we make use of the article the. So the English language, the Turkish bath, the French, the Chinese, the Nehrus, the stewards, when we make use of a proper noun out of the proper name, a proper adjective. Well, we have a note given to us, the English, but Englishmen. We do say the English, that is the English people. When I am saying the English, it does not mean the English language, the name of the language that we learn. No, we mean to say the people belonging to England. Therefore, we say the English. Similarly, the Indians, isn't it? We are Indians, so we say the Indians. The English, but when you associate the word English with a compound noun over there, that is Englishmen. You don't say the Englishmen, perhaps we just say Englishmen. The French, we definitely say the people belonging to France, French. But Frenchmen. The Spanish, but you don't say the Spaniards, we say Spaniards. The Irish, but when you want to talk about the people, Irishmen. So make note of this, that how are we going to use the article the along with this word. Well, the next usage about the article the is before ordinals and superlatives. When you make use of the ordinal numbers or the superlative degree, we learnt about the degrees of comparison with regards to adjective and adverbs. So when you make use of the superlative degree in a sentence, definitely, surely we have to make use of the article the. The 15th of August, so you see, ordinal number is being used over here. The number used in order. On the third occasion, the third occasion, the fifth time. So all three are examples of ordinal numbers preceded or having the article the before them when it is utilized. Today is the hottest day of the month. So what is being used over here? Today is the hottest day. Have a look at the word hottest. It is a superlative degree of the adjective hot. The day is being described. Today is a hot day. Yesterday was a hotter day. Tomorrow may be the hottest day. So today is the hottest day. Hottest is the superlative degree of the adjective hot, and therefore the article the has been rightfully used before it. So remember, we have to use the article the whenever utilizing a superlative degree of adjective or adverb in a sentence. Of the month, we are talking about a particular month, and therefore the has been used again. This is the most useful book. Most useful. Again superlative degree. On the subject. When talking about a particular subject, therefore the subject. The last example, this is the least useful. Again, least is the superlative degree. So all the examples that you see, the second, third and fourth are about superlative degrees, whereas the first one is about the ordinal numbers. Next one, before a proper noun, but only when it is qualified by an adjective or by a phrase or a clause used as an adjective. So it will take a little time for you to understand. Read it carefully. Before a noun, before a proper noun. So we make use of the article the before a proper noun. Otherwise we don't use it. I don't say the Rakesh came to my house. No, I cannot say like that. But I will be able to use it before a proper noun if it is qualified by an adjective, by a phrase or by a clause used as an adjective. Let us see the example. I don't say the Shakespeare was a great dramatist. No. But if I say the immortal Shakespeare, now I am saying the Shakespeare who has never been dead in the imagination of the people. Therefore, I am describing Shakespeare using the word immortal as an adjective to describe the noun. So you see, now I can use the article the over here. Directly I can't say the Shakespeare, but I can say yes, the immortal Shakespeare, the wise Solomon, the famous Napoleon, the great Caesar. So these are proper nouns, names of people. They are proper names. They are proper names. But we can't use the article the before them directly. But yes, if it is preceded by an adjective, then we will be able to use the article the, as you can see in the example. The next rule about the use of the definite article the before an adjective used as a noun. Before an adjective used as a noun. Let us see how. The rich ought to help the poor. Very careful observation. The two words rich. Rich means wealth, isn't it? Rich is a noun. I got many riches with me. So rich, when it is used as an adjective to describe a noun over here or used as a noun over here, isn't it? I say he is a rich person. The word rich is used as an adjective to describe the person. But here in this sentence, the word rich has transformed from an adjective to a noun. I am using it as a wealth over here. The rich ought to help the poor. That is, the rich people. People who are rich. Therefore, the word rich is enacting or playing the role of a noun rather than the role of an adjective. So, I am not using the word rich as an adjective over here. The sentence is utilizing the word rich as a noun over here. So, before an adjective, which is originally an adjective but now used as a noun in the sentence. The rich ought to help the poor. The wise despise the foolish. So once again, the wise despise the foolish. The wise and foolish. Both the words, although they are adjectives to describe nouns, they have been used as a noun in the given sentence, and therefore the article the needs to be applied before them. The wise, the foolish. Next rule, before common nouns of which there is only one. Before a common noun of which there is only one. Usually with common nouns we don't use the article the, is it? But sometimes where the common noun is only one, there is not the second of it, just one of it. I am not saying one of its kind. It is just one, means just one of it, only one. Like the special thing, the sun, the moon. Is there a second sun? No. Well, you may say sun is a star and there are many stars, but there is only one sun that we recognize, we identify it as sun. The sun, the moon, the earth, the sky, the North Pole, the weather, the pole star are all examples of something that is only one. Well, it is a common noun, but it is one, only one of it, one like that, and there is nothing second of it. So we make use of the article the before them. Before the names of ships and trains, when you use the names of ships and trains in a sentence, the Queen Elizabeth is a famous British liner. We're talking about a particular ship, a liner, a vessel. There we use the article the Queen Elizabeth. The Himalayan Queen runs from Delhi to Shimla every day. The Rajdhani Express is the fastest train, or similar things which we use. Well, note the following special usages. So we have been given a special usage as a part of a note over here. The Queen of England, the Lake of Geneva, the German language. So we've been given three special usages of the word over here, the Queen of England, the Lake of Geneva, and the German language. So this is a special usage where the article the can be used. So this was all about the use of the definite article the. Well, with this we take a pause today over here. In the upcoming lecture we will discuss the omission of the definite article the, and we will look into the remaining exercises that we need to perform in our text with some other useful information. I hope you enjoyed and learnt from this session. See you soon in the upcoming session. Till then, take care. Have a nice day and goodbye.